Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another Bibi and Peter Show, where we put the fun back into English learning. And today we have a very exciting topic. But before we do that, I just need to ask Peter something.
Really?
Peter, how are you today?
If uh I'm okay, baby. I'm fine.
Why,
What
why are you
what
being so suspicious? Like, I have a
I
very
don't know.
simple
You're like
question for you.
I mean you didn't even
What,
allow me to present
what's
myself and you're already like, what question? This question is so urgent and important.
like I'm so excited to it. Like I'm so excited.
Oh,
This topic.
okay.
It's one of those topics that I'm very passionate about, you know. So, okay. So, first of all, before I go into the topic,
To know that I don't know what questions she would gonna be asking me. I don't have no idea.
don't
So I'm
worry.
a
Don't,
little bit afraid.
okay,
What
wait for it.
okay.
Wait
What's
for it. Wait for
um
it. What's your learning style? If you had to learn a language, right?
uh
What would your learning style be? Like, what's
my
your
life?
learning style? Do you like,
Really?
yeah, do you
Isn't
like,
that
yeah.
isn't that a
What
little
do you
bit
mean,
personal,
really?
Bibi?
Like, what? What is personal
Yeah.
about that? I'm not asking you the color of your underwear. Like, really? Why are you being so dramatic?
Well,
What's your
well,
learning style? Like,
I'm not actually I'm not wearing any
I
underwear.
forgot.
What?
Oh my God, so much information, too much information. Like, oh my God. Okay, Peter, like,
Anyways,
stop.
um,
Just stop. Do you know
okay.
I have to constantly remind you
Uh,
that this is a learning podcast. A learning podcast. It's
Maybe
not late nights with
you
Peter,
asking
okay?
me personal question.
I
Asking
said I
someone's learning
didn't ask
style
you
is
what.
very personal. It's a very personal thing. It's like you asking
It's not
someone's IQ.
personal. Okay, let me break it down for you. No, oh my God. Let's not even get into that because I would not want you to tell us your IQ. I would not want to embarrass you on
Oh
live
my goodness.
streaming. Ask
My
you that
goodness,
type of
Bibi, that
question.
say that, Bibi.
Okay.
That's evil. Okay. Anyways, let's focus on the learning style, Bibi. Learning style. Okay. Can I answer? Can I answer? Would you mind me answering your question? Can I ask? Can I answer your question? Anyway, um, so my
Well,
learning style.
mhm,
I'm kind of, Bibi. I'm kind of like
mhm.
I'm an introvert. I'm not sure if you've noticed it,
Okay.
but I'm kind of like an introvert. I get out of my shell, and then I go, "Ooh," and then people are like, "Huh,"
Right.
and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm an introvert that scares people." But you know, I
I think
prefer.
everyone knows that you're the introvert here. Like, there's no shocker there. But we're like you just gave the game away. I asked you your learning style and you just told me your personality type. Like really.
But
So basically what
that's
I
how
was
I connect it. That's how it connected. Is being an
Huh?
introvert means my learning style is more introspective. It's more
Introspective. Okay, so
inner.
explain that to me. Like what would your preferred learning style be? Do you like group discussions or do you like you if you're an introvert, that means that you like book and
I'm an
paper
observer.
or
I'm
you
an
like
observer. I like just to observe
observe.
language, and then I just absorb it, and then I imitate it. How is
Observe and
that?
absorb. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
So if your perfect lesson would be to watch a pre-recorded video or get
Mm-hmm.
you know how you love grammar? You love grammar. So your
Of course.
perfect
Like
thing
I
would
love
be like
vegetables.
to do a grammar exercise, right?
I will do no it's shadowing. I would say shadowing. So I would watch a movie, and I would kind of like replay it in my
Mhm.
head, and I would kind of like act it out in the mirror. I used to do that
Okay,
I used
so
when I was a teenager. I would act out movie scenes in front of the mirror. A lot of fun. Just me and the mirror, not in front of my friends. That's why I'm an introvert. I don't do shows. Um, but
uh-huh.
anyways, what about you, Bibi? What's your learning style? Now that I've
You might be
shared,
surprised by this because you might be surprised, but I'm actually, when I learn Spanish, I'm a bit of an introvert, but also type of an
Mm.
extrovert. So I'm an ambivert learning style. And do you know what that means? Do you know what's an
Ambivert.
ambivert, Peter?
I know what, I don't know. I know what's
Ambivert.
amphibian. It's something similar to amphibian, maybe. I mean,
No,
you
no,
look like
my
one,
God.
but
Okay.
is that your learning style? Is okay.
I look like an amphibian. I look like, did you? Oh my God, do not make me swear you right now. Like, really? I look like an amphibian? Really? Is that what you just told me?
Did
I'm
you?
suddenly speechless. You just called me an amphibian? Like
No,
amphibian as in a
no,
frog?
no,
Do you have
no,
a
no, no,
fever today? Okay. Well, getting back
not a,
getting back to what I was
not.
saying before
I,
I like
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking frog. I was more salamander kind of thing.
a
You know,
salamander. Oh
salamander,
my
a
God.
cute,
If frog wasn't
and salamander.
wow, really? My God. Oh, that's such a
Very
flattering way
cute.
of calling someone.
Salamanders are very
Clever.
cute, actually. A salamander.
Oh,
Anyways,
so you okay. All right, getting back to what I
ambivert.
was saying, okay, because we like completely losing the plot here. So, um, back to the topic is according to your personality, that really defines your learning style. And what I've realized over time is that a lot of people are forced to do group discussions when they're learning a language, or they're forced to have an interaction with someone to learn a language, and they think, okay, I'm just terrible at it, right? They think they really suck at learning a language, but it's because they haven't found out what's their learning style. So, for
Mm.
instance, I am, well, many think I'm an extrovert, right? But I'm actually an ambivert. So, an ambivert, getting back to it, an ambivert is you have an introvert, extrovert personality mixed together. So,
Ah,
while I really enjoy trying to practice my Spanish with my friend, most of the time I don't like to be wrong. So, what I like to do is have a very introvert
both
personality
figure.
and sit very quietly, self reflect on what I'm learning and learn alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Mm-hmm.
like to engage in group discussions in my second language. So I think that's the most important point is when you're learning a language, realize your learning style really depends on your personality. And that's why a lot of people like quit because I'm just not good at learning. I'm just not good at speaking Spanish. Or yeah, tell me.
But Bibi, you're saying, that sometimes there's not a choice, right? I mean, you need to get some speaking practice. You need to engage with groups
Like
sometime in your language
step
process. I mean,
out
you
of your
cannot
comfort zone. Is
exactly.
that
So
what you're
so
saying?
if you're an introvert or ambivert, there needs to be a time when when you've kind of faced the music, so to speak. So I mean, how do you deal with that as an introvert?
Well, that's like as any introvert would deal with the situation is like to kind of prepare your mind for it. So the first solution to any problem is to realize you have a problem, right? Okay, so it's not a problem, but realize the significance of what you're saying. So like knowing that I have kind of an introvert personality when I'm learning, I know that I need to be very prepared before group discussion in Spanish, or before I try out any new words with my friend, I'm going to first learn it very well. And then I want to practice it. Because if he's going to tell me something like, oh my God, you're saying it wrong, or even laugh at me, I get very demotivated, right? So, but I do need that's, yeah, like you kind of have to face the music, kind of like, uh, you know, what you were saying, but I also get
What
very
does it mean?
demotivated.
What does that mean, Bibi?
Face the
I don't think
music, it's
some
like
listener.
kind of like so face the music is like face the challenges or face the bad things that would happen, yeah, if you do
Mhm,
something wrong.
mhm,
Yeah. So
mhm,
I always
mhm.
like we normally tell that to kids is like, oh, well, now you need to face the music. You were outside of curfew time. Curfew means like being out from the hours that you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be back home,
Yeah.
like face the
Yeah,
music. Or you do something wrong.
the way that maybe the way that I deal with my introverts is I would be gentler, and I would
Yes, you
usually
wouldn't be
I would pick
so
them up. I would pick them up, and I would usually
exactly.
I would rationalize the whole process. I would explain to them in detail.
Yep,
And then
yep.
with my extroverts, I would be like calming. I would calm them and try
Calming.
to,
How would you
because
be
they get over
calming?
anxious, because extroverts get over anxious, and
Right, they don't want to be
extroverts
wrong.
extroverts many times, because of their dominating nature. Okay, dominating not always.
Right,
That's an
exactly.
overgeneralization. Introverts can also be dominating, but what I'm saying is that sometimes they speak without breathing, or they speak without listening, and sometimes they just need to
Well,
be
they speak
quiet.
without
So
thinking. They speak
yeah,
without thinking as well.
exactly.
Like,
And that
I
and that
do that. Yeah.
You see, insecurity is a symptom, but the root of insecurity can be different. So you have both introvert, extrovert, or ambivert insecure, but how you treat it is different, because the root of that insecurity is in another place.
But that's exactly it, right? So if you know your learning style and if you know your personality type, it makes you a bit more easier for you to go into there and say, okay, I know I'm not fit, or I know my my kind of like my makeup, my genetic makeup is not made for a group discussion, but I have to face the music. I have to do it. I have to conquer it, right? And then
Hmm.
also, if you
Hmm.
know, like your personality is something that you don't like to be told you're wrong, or you don't like to listen. Like an extrovert doesn't want to be told that they said something wrong, right? And
Hmm.
then you kind of
Hmm.
have to take a step back and say, okay, it's part of the learning process. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the
True.
world, right? It's
True.
just part of the
True.
process. Because I find, like, with a lot of my extroverted students, it's like when they get something wrong, and I try to be very gentle about it, but they're like, oh no, I'm never going to get this right. Okay. So in that moment, they
Mhm.
need to realize they can't be a perfectionist, right? It's part of the process. So
It's just
I don't
it's
know.
great that
Yeah.
it's great that we're discussing this,
Yeah.
Bibi. Introvert, extrovert, ambivert. I just want to add a footnote that these
Right.
things, it's not deterministic, meaning that it doesn't, it's not the ring that rules them all. It's there are other variables. Yeah, I mean, like some people in the morning can be an introvert, and at night they're an extrovert, or
Oh my
vice
God,
versa.
that's me, but the opposite.
So
That's me, like in the
it's
opposite. In the
it,
morning, I'm like this
it's
proper extrovert, and at night, it's like, do not even look
that's me.
at me. Like, don't. Like, not touches if you want to be murdered. Like, look at me if you want your head bitten off.
I'm
Like, do not
so
look at
happy.
me.
I'm so happy I'm so relieved that we have an Atlantic Ocean between us, Bibi. It's
Explain
actually
what
a
the
protection.
biting someone's heads off means. What does it mean when you bite someone's head off?
It's like literally wanting to destroy the person's existence on the face of the earth.
But
So it's
but verbally, right? Like he bit my head
verbally
off. But like it's not like physically being
aggression.
carnivorous. Yes,
It's
it's like being
aggression.
verbally
Aggression.
attacking someone. Verbally attacking someone is biting their head off, right? Biting their head off.
Bibi's doing that.
Right. So
Bibi's My head keeps on growing back. So yeah, my keeps so
oh
that's it.
God. Okay, well, you really ask for it. I never give it unless it's, there's a
Okay.
reason for it.
Always
There's
justify
always
your
has to be.
crimes.
Oh,
Always justifying your crimes.
it's a
That's fine.
it's a reaction
Fine.
to an action. It's a reaction to an
Uh,
action. Okay, so
uh,
wrapping this up, giving it this some context, what we can say is that your learning style or your personality does define your learning style, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end all and be all, right?
mm-hmm,
So it's
mm-hmm.
overlapping. Like sometimes you can be, yes, I'm so excited to learn Spanish and I want to go and speak to 20 Spaniards right now. And some days it's like, I just want to sit with a pen and paper and listen to a pre-recorded, um, you know, ser versus star, right? And learn it
I
by
think I think
myself.
yeah, I think it's listening. It's a lot of intrapersonal intelligence. Respect yourself. Give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. There's that phases that you will go through where you're more extroverted. Other phases that you're more introverted. I think also different phases in the learning process. Bibi is more of an
That's true.
extroverted learning phase and an introverted learning phase. And sometimes it's almost up and down, introvert, extrovert,
Yeah,
introvert, extrovert.
it's not a straight
So
line. It's not a straight. It's like
exactly.
running a marathon, right?
Yeah.
There's ups and downs and hills and bumps and straight and narrow. So, but that's a topic for another time. Is that the different phases in your learning journey? That's why I
Yeah.
always say it's not learning. It's not learning a language. It's your learning journey. I always call it an English learning journey because
It's a
there's no
journey, not a
destination.
destination. There is no destination. That's it,
Exactly.
guys. You never
Exactly.
graduate
Exactly.
in a language. Please, guys, you never will graduate. I mean, you get a certificate and congratulations, but you're not graduated in that language. Please do not call yourself a language graduate.
Is like, yeah, in conclusion, Peter is like a perfect example. He's like his mother tongue, well, one of his mother tongues is English, but he's still learning new words in English. Like I'm constantly teaching him English. Right, Peter?
Thank you. Thank you for Thank you for making that so clear. Okay.
Thank you for throwing you under
Anyway,
the bus. Did I just
yeah,
throw you under the bus?
I'm still recovering from that. Anyways,
What is throwing you under the bus mean, Peter?
it means that Bibi is putting me in a very awkward situation. She's putting me in a situation where I feel very uncomfortable. But it's
I'm
okay.
sorry about that, Peter, but it's part of the learning. We've got to give our students something to remember, right? And best way to remember is through
At
fun
my
and
expense.
sarcasm. And
Usually at my expense, right? I'm usually the one that
that's why they love you so much.
because I'm the victim.
And yeah,
So we always identify with the victim, right? The underdog. So that's okay. I can deal with that. I'm fine.
the underdog, that's another good one. Being the underdog means like being the lesser of everyone else. Oh, underdog, Peter. Come on now. Like with your type of ego, you cannot even fit yourself into that box. Your ego would not allow you to be an underdog. But let's wrap this up. Okay.
Bibi, it's been great. Thank you so much, everyone. And introvert, extrovert, ambivert. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you next time for another English podcast with Bibi and Peter. Thank you very much. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.